Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is starting to bounce from this crucial area of support on the daily time frame, while the price is now starting to play out an oversold signal in the immediate short term, which is something that we need to pay attention to. But we're still seeing BlackRock dumping Bitcoin with huge outflows coming out of these Bitcoin ETFs, which I'll talk about in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is now getting very close to confirming a new bullish divergence on this chart right here, while the price of Solana has just technically confirmed a break below this crucial area on the price chart. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before taking a look at the Bitcoin and crypto charts today, we need to take a look at some Bitcoin news today, because we now have the numbers for Friday for the Bitcoin ETF flows. And on Friday, we finished the week with another massive net outflow of almost $500 million, around $492 million leaving the Bitcoin ETFs just on Friday. And of course, that's after we saw that massive net outflow on Thursday of over $866 million leaving the Bitcoin ETFs just on Thursday. But on Friday, it turned out to be the worst day for the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF throughout the week. We saw an outflow from the BlackRock ETF alone of around $463 million leaving the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF just on Friday, which essentially means BlackRock is having to dump that amount of Bitcoin, around $460 million worth of Bitcoin in a single day, in order to effectively pay out those outflows to the investors withdrawing their money from the ETFs. And so basically in the second half of the week, we did indeed see a lot of sell pressure from especially BlackRock, but also other Bitcoin ETFs dumping Bitcoin as investors are withdrawing money out of Bitcoin ETFs. So keep that in mind. That is adding to some of the sell pressure that we have been seeing recently over the last few days or so. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin price chart, obviously right now the super trend indicator is starting to flash a reversal signal, flipping into the red after many years now in green. This has been green since basically the beginning of the bull market at the beginning of 2023, and right now it's flashing a red signal, not confirmed, but flashing a reversal signal for the first time since the previous massive bear market. And so this is definitely something to pay close attention to in the coming days based on the next weekly candle close, because of course we need to see a weekly candle close below roughly 96,000 in order to actually confirm this reversal signal in the super trend indicator on the weekly Bitcoin price chart. And in case you're wondering, the next weekly candle close is in a little over 1 day from now at exactly Sunday night UTC midnight. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin price chart, obviously right now the price of Bitcoin is continuing to play out a massive bearish divergence with higher highs in the price and lower highs in RSI. And this has been the case on this weekly Bitcoin price chart over the last 1 month or so. I've been saying this every day for a month. Expect a lot of weakness, lacking bullish momentum, which means at best maybe some choppy sideways price action, but most likely a bit more of a pullback is very likely in the coming weeks or months. So obviously over the last 1 month that has already been playing out as predicted, but this will likely continue moving forward at least in the coming weeks, potentially another 1 or 2 months as a very likely scenario that we need to consider. Remember, we can see short-term bounces or short-term bullish reliefs here and there on the smaller time frames, but overall on the larger time frames expect a lot of weakness for a while now. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin price chart, we've now officially confirmed a daily candle close below this important area of support, which was sitting in between around 99,000 to 100,000. So obviously we've now actually confirmed the break below that support, which means if we see any sort of bounce here, expect resistance in that area. Once again, in between 99,000 to 100,000, expect resistance in that area. And as for support to watch out for right now, well, right now as of recording this video, we're currently potentially bouncing and holding this area as a major area of support based on the Fibonacci retracement tool. This is putting the golden pocket, the most important Fibonacci area on the price chart, in between roughly 92.5k to 94k. So starting at close to 94k, we have a lot of support around there, which so far is pretty much exactly where the price bounced from, at very close to 94,000. So obviously continue to expect a lot of support around there on the price chart. And if we do end up playing out a bit more of a short-term bullish bounce or a slight little bullish relief here, in that situation, once again, expect a lot lot of resistance at give or take $100,000 per Bitcoin. And if the price eventually at some stage continues this bearish trend right here with a break towards the downside, like what we saw breaking below the previous support at 100,000, we drop towards this next level of support. In this situation, if we break below around 92 to 94,000, the current area of support, then in that situation would likely see a move down towards roughly 85 to 86,000 as the next important support. And if we're taking a look at this 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, looking at just the short-term moves that flip around it very often, obviously flip between bullish and bearish pretty much every few days. But like I talked about in my last video, it is quite likely we could potentially see some very slight little bounce here, maybe just a little sideways consolidation, but basically a very slight little break or relief from this bearish movement here just in the immediate short term. I'm only talking about maybe a couple of days here because overall we're still within this bearish trend very clearly. So any bullish move that we're seeing is just a shorter term move, at least for now, during the current bearish trend. And why I'm saying, and why I said in my last video to expect a slight little bullish bounce like this, nothing too spectacular, no massive strength in the market, but maybe just a very slight little bounce or sideways consolidation, is due to the fact of two reasons. Basically, this reason right here, obviously running into major supports, we're most likely going to hold this at least for the next few days, possibly longer, but at least for the next few days, we're likely going to hold this as support. And also based on this oversold signal in the 6-hour Bitcoin RSI, telling us that we've gone too far to the downside too quickly in the immediate short term, and we need a little bit of time here just in the short term in order to help to reset the RSI out of oversold back up towards more neutral levels, which can potentially give us more room towards the downside later on. So keep that in mind. In the immediate short term, expect maybe just a slight little relief. Do not expect significant bullish momentum, but overall, if we're talking about the next multiple weeks or months, expect more weakness as a very likely scenario. And in fact, if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, looking at the last 1 month worth of price action, we can see a major level of liquidity building below the price of Bitcoin at roughly 89,000. So keep that in mind. That could be basically drawing the price towards that area moving forward. Maybe, let's just say in a week from now, for example, it's possible we continue the bearish trend lower later on to head towards that next level of liquidity or this next support. But once again, in the immediate short term, just for the next few days or so, I do expect the price to hold this area as support, once again in between roughly 92 to 94,000, acting as major support, at least just in the short term here. And if you want to get set up ready to go to take the next trading opportunity as soon as I share it here on the channel, get set up ready to go using the link below the video to Pinex if you want to take advantage of some major bonuses here. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check it out. First link below the video will take you to this page right here where you can claim massive deposit bonuses. If you deposit just 100 USDT, you get a $200 bonus from Pinex on your Pinex account. If you deposit just 1,000, you get a $600 bonus. If you deposit these larger amounts, you can get up to 40,000 USD in bonuses from Pinex, basically free money from the exchange, which you can then actually go ahead to use with these Bitcoin grid bots here. So you can basically trade using the exchange's money without even using your money, just simply by making an account, making a deposit, and then trading with the exchange's bonus, the deposit bonus here with these futures grid bots. And so once again, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway or looking into these futures grid bots anyway, you might as well take advantage of this first link below this video. But if you want a no KYC exchange to take long positions or short positions, for that I like to use 2bit. So I'll also make sure to leave a link to 2bit below the video, and that second link below this video will take you to this page right here where you can also take advantage of some major bonuses that are only available using that link below the video. For example, if you deposit, let's just say, these larger amounts and trade these larger amounts, you can get up to 10,000 USDT in trial fund bonuses and 8,000 USDT in withdrawable stablecoins. And even if you deposit these smaller amounts, you can still get some major bonuses here. And on top of that, without making any deposits or any trades, simply just by making an account, takes 30 seconds to do this using the link below the video to 2bit, and you can claim a free $30 sign up bonus and 1 month free VIP 3 upgrade. So basically very cheap trading fees over on 2bit and essentially free money from the exchange just by simply making an account using that link. So you might as well take advantage of this, especially if you're going to be trading crypto anyway or preparing to take the next trading opportunity. And once again, in case you're wondering, 2bit is a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance on the daily time frame, and right now the Bitcoin dominance is still showing some slight bearish price action, very, very slight bearish momentum, no significant momentum as of right now, but overall I do expect continued price action to basically what we've seen over the last 1 week or so. So basically a very slight little pullback like this, but nothing too spectacular is what I'm really expecting right now in the Bitcoin dominance. So neutral to bearish, very likely right now in the Bitcoin dominance. And if we're taking a look at the daily Ethereum price chart, right now the price of ETH is still trading between this major level of support and this significant level of resistance. First of all, this support is still sitting at around 30.50, so in between around 3,000 to 3.1k, and this resistance is still sitting at around 36.50 approximately, so in between around 3.6k to 3.7k, acting as significant resistance. And so at least for now, continue to expect support at that area of support and resistance at that area of resistance. But if the price ultimately breaks to the downside below the support to ultimately continue this larger bearish trend that we've already been in for months, if this ultimately continues towards the next support towards the downside, well, in that situation would likely find a lot of support in between roughly 2.6k to 2.7k. And if we're taking a look at this daily Ethereum price chart, it is worth pointing out that right now Ethereum is indeed forming a new bullish divergence. Now I want to make this clear, it's not currently confirmed as of recording this video. It's something that is just currently forming but not confirmed, so it's something to watch out for in case it soon confirms, but currently nothing to really act on. And as always, a divergence basically means the price is sort of losing a bit of steam in the direction that we've been going. So for example, with a bearish divergence, we've been heading in the bullish direction leading into the bearish divergence, but it's telling us we're losing the bullish momentum. We're likely going to see a cool off, so either a sideways consolidation or a bit of a pullback in the price. And then a bullish divergence is the exact opposite. We've been heading in the bearish direction, heading into a bullish divergence, and this is telling us that just in the shorter term we're losing a bit of that bearish momentum, so we're likely going to see either a bit of a bounce or maybe a sideways consolidation, so a bit of a break from all of the bearish price action. And that is very likely in the coming, let's just say 1 week or so, maybe 1 to 2 weeks is a very likely scenario if we first confirm this new bullish divergence. Once again, I want to make that clear, it's not currently confirmed, but if this confirmed with the higher low being confirmed in place in the daily Ethereum RSI, then of course that would mean expect just a slight little relief in the shorter term over the coming days or over the next 1 to 2 weeks, that sort of time frame. But overall, once again, this can occur during a larger bearish trend, so keep that in mind. A bullish divergence by itself is not necessarily a trend reversal signal. And if we're taking a look at the price of Solana on the 2-day time frame, right now the price of Solana is just breaking below this important area of support here, which was sitting in between around 143 to 147 approximately, and we've now officially seen a 2-day candle close and also of course a daily candle close below this area of support. And as of recording the video, we're now currently retesting this area and so far failing to get back above the area, so we're potentially flipping this previous support into new resistance, which if we actually confirm a rejection here will of course be bearish price structure if we confirm this as new resistance with a bit of a rejection. So obviously that would ultimately just signal a continuation of this larger bearish trend that we've already been in for months and signal the next leg towards the downside, towards the next support, which is sitting in between roughly 124 to 127, give or take, based on this level right here, the Fibonacci level, and also based on this previous low closer towards 126 to 127 as the next major support. But of course, if Bitcoin plays out a slight little relief like this in the short term, it's likely that Solana and some of these major altcoins could play out maybe just a slight little break from the bearish price action, maybe just for a few days. Once again, only talking about the short term. If we're talking about the bigger picture, the larger price structure on this chart right here on the 2-day time frame, overall, once again, it's still looking bearish if we're talking about the next few weeks or months as a very likely scenario. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, of course, right now XRP is still playing out the massive bearish divergence that I did actually warn about months ago when pretty much no one believed me about this bearish divergence resulting in a major pullback. But obviously it has indeed resulted in a major pullback over the last few months as expected months ago. You can even watch my videos back then around end of July, early August, talking about this massive pullback coming over the next few months. But right now, obviously, this is still playing out. Not a lot has changed over the last 1 day on the weekly XRP price chart. And if we're taking a look at the daily XRP price chart, what has just happened over the last 1 day is we've officially confirmed a break back below this golden pocket area of support here, which was sitting in between around $2.30 to $2.40. So once again, we've now confirmed a break back below that area, and we're heading towards the next support, which right now the immediate support to watch out for is at around $2.20. If we break below that, expect more support at around $2.05 to $2.07 approximately. And also there is the potential opportunity of a new bullish divergence forming if the price forms a slight lower low in the candle closes, while the RSI is of course still currently forming higher lows. So keep that in mind. That's a possible new bullish divergence currently forming, but obviously still not currently confirmed. Overall, of course, if we're talking about the larger trend, we're still simply bearish. So any bullish price action that we see is only short-term bullish price action, just a bit of a bounce from support or a short-term bullish relief during this larger bearish trend. At least for now, that is still the situation, as I've been saying for a long time now on the channel. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink, it's a very similar situation for Chainlink as what I just said for XRP, still within this larger bearish price structure, a larger bearish trend forming lower highs and lower lows, as we can see. But right now we are extending the previous bullish divergence. Of course, we had a previous bullish divergence here with lower lows in the price in the candle closes and higher lows confirmed in the RSI, in the daily Chainlink price chart, and that resulted in this slight little bullish relief here that played out for close to a week, give or take, before ultimately continuing the trend later on. Once again, a bullish divergence is not always a trend reversal signal. In fact, a lot of the times it's not a trend reversal signal at all. It usually just results in a slight little relief during the trend. So of course, if this reconfirms, which right now we do have lower lows in the price in the candle closes, we just need to now reconfirm a new higher low in the RSI on the daily time frame. If this now actually confirms another higher low in place in the RSI, then of course that would reconfirm, essentially extending this bullish divergence with another low on the price chart. And in that situation, of course, expect just a slight little relief, maybe a slight bullish relief or some choppy sideways price action, basically a bit of a break from all of the bearish price action, most likely for roughly a week, give or take, that sort of time frame. But remember, even if this confirms, that does not necessarily mean the end of this larger bearish trend. And as for support and resistance to watch out for, expect a lot of support at roughly around $13.30 to $13.50 approximately, and a lot of resistance in between around $15.20 to $15.70. So those are the immediate levels to watch out for. And as always, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below the video to those exchanges if you want to claim those massive bonuses that are only available using those links. And if you want to actually know how you can trade crypto no matter what the price is doing, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.